don't know anything about saving worlds, but you do.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Into the Void Real Review. This time we are reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine, the newest Marvel movie to hit the theater. I know that the Marvel Universe has been in a nosedive of late, with the latest films ranging from less than stellar to downright boring. They all seem to have the same plot, or they end up just being set up for some grandiose pie-in-the-sky vision that may or may not come to fruition in the future. They all have to fit the broad canon that spans so many movies that sometimes that hurts the individual films as a singular entity on its own. I think the last Marvel movie I reviewed was The Marvels, which hit with a thud and then was completely forgotten afterward. Before that was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I did like that one, but the movie still didn't give me much hope for the Marvel Universe as a whole. Spider-Man No Way Home is probably the last fantastic Marvel movie to come out in my opinion. Ever since Endgame, the Marvel Universe has struggled to get that magic back. Even more, all the actors that played these awesome comic book characters are starting to age out, making it difficult to recast actors that can make us get reinvested in those characters once again. In what phase of Marvel are we in now? 4? And then just as I put out this review, the news comes in that Robert Downey Jr. is set to play Dr. Doom. Are we at that point now that we are recycling actors for other comic book heroes to hit the big screen? Well, that's another issue that we can sort out later, but for now, we have a movie to review. The weight of it all makes me wonder when it will all crumble. Enter Deadpool and Wolverine, which comes in with the hype of a megaton bomb. The question will be if it will be a box office bomb, or will it live up to the hype and be the good kind of bomb that can hopefully create a ripple through the space-time continuum that will pull out the Marvel movies from the nosedive that they have been in and back to respectability and awesomeness that it once had back in the heyday. The good news is Hugh Jackman is back to reprise his role as Wolverine, the alpha of the X-Men that may eventually finally make their way onto the Marvel bandwagon. Then you have everyone's favorite foul-mouthed Deadpool, played by the always enigmatic Ryan Reynolds.
Whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
It's true both these two were born to play these roles, but the question is, would the two mesh well in their very own movie? The answer is yes, yes, and a hell yes. I was ready immediately after the opening sequence of this movie to say,
Let's fucking go!
Let's go. This is one of those movies that is so easy to review because there's so much to like, and at the same time, I don't have to go into the specifics of this movie because I don't want to spoil any of it to you. It gives me an excuse to really just not go into the plot, and for that matter, the cameos that pop up all over the place. I get to just rave about how good the movie is. It's cool when you can do that. There are people that show up from movies before Disney took the Marvel franchise onto their shoulders. And there are new things that get introduced that will blow your mind. Nostalgia will hit you hard on this one, and you will see things from other movies that will get you thinking how that showed up there or what happened on some different timeline. I will say this film does involve Deadpool having to find Wolverine to help him bring his world that is on the verge of collapse back to life. And that's probably all you need to know. There are fantastic fights that are easy to parse and follow, and the humor, thank God, it's so good in this movie. The writing is really top-notch stuff, and the humor pays off because of it.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes, but I can't.
The fourth wall breaking is here and in full effect, and it also is the reason why this movie is so funny. The movie isn't afraid to make fun of the Marvel ethos, 20th Century Fox, and even Disney. It doesn't take itself seriously, that's for sure. The humor and action sequences are at full throttle for most of the movie, with one exception being around the middle of the movie where it drags for maybe 3 minutes. And you only notice it because the whole movie moves with the pace and wit of a hurricane. It's amazing how good this movie is, and it is definitely one I can see people going to see multiple times. This is the best Deadpool movie and the best Wolverine movie. It may just make you not care if you ever see the X-Men or the Fantastic Four in the Marvel ecosystem. It is that good. Now, word around the net is that the villain and or villains are weak, but I actually did like the main villain in this one. There's an interesting tie-in with another well-known comic book figure involving the villain, and I like the power that they wielded as well. Also, I didn't straight hate them. I think they were someone that you can kind of identify with to some degree. Now, not maybe to their depths, but to a lesser degree. That's all I'll get into on that. And the other villain, played by Matthew McFadden, most known for his role as the dysfunctional husband to Shiv in the stellar HBO series Succession, he's great as well. He He does have an accent that is different from the American accent he has in Succession, and I don't know if that's his native accent or not, so that may throw you off a little bit. Nonetheless, I thought he was good here as a villain everyone hates. Also like that this movie has an R rating. Kudos to Disney on that one. There are some gruesome scenes and interesting bits that would have been lost with a PG or PG-13 rating. There are some freaky scenes that had me cringing a bit involving fingers that don't belong in certain places. I won't elaborate on that. I'll leave that to your imagination. So I think that about does it for how much I'll tell you. Now the music, all I can say is, whoa. The soundtrack is memorable. There are songs that enhance the comedic sense of the already visceral and highly kinetic slow motion action sequences sprinkled liberally throughout the film. There are songs that are in scenes that you would never believe would belong together, but they do in this movie. You'll hear anything from NSYNC's Bye 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 to Madonna's Like a Prayer featured in the trailer, and will only make you love what's here more. One thing is for sure, go out and see this movie. It's probably the best movie this year, with Dune 2 being the only other movie in league with it. It gets high marks from me. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. A must see even if you aren't a Marvel fan. Okay guys, I hope you found this review entertaining. If you did, please like the video and consider subscribing if you want more of this content. See you next time when we venture into the void.